think I might have mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned it in basic skills video or a different video, but I did mention that the voices of nature, kind of what that was, but I didn't really explain fully kind of how to go about tapping into that. And so today I'm going to talk a lot more about the voices of nature and what that really means. A long time ago, I say humans, at least most pagans, could just naturally hear this. The voices of nature basically means just anything that is of nature. A lot of times we refer to it as of the forest, but really it's anything belonging to or within nature. So it can be anything from a river to a stone to a tree to an animal. It's really broad, but it's anything in and of nature that has this connection. Basically everything of nature has a connection, and that connection, unfortunately, throughout the history of humanity widely has become lost, but we used to have this connection. When an animal, for example, is either fearful or rageful or in defense mode or something like that, they have the ability to turn that off. And a lot of times they don't even have control over it, because when they're too stressed out, it just turns off. And so then they've got plan B, which is all the different body postures and vocalizations that they will use to communicate. But the main way they communicate actually is through this connection, which is like a telepathy type connection, which is basically that link that everything of nature has. As pagan, you believe that even things like stones have this connection, and they also have a soul, and that they can communicate through this connection. So even things that seem idle like that, like rivers, stones, literally just the land itself, the land that you're walking on, has a soul to it, and therefore can think and communicate through this connection. Since humans have kind of lost that connection for the most part, what we have to do is we have to kind of reopen that door. And I would say the easiest way to do that, literally, is to just, if you can find some nature around. Some people kind of live pretty, in the city, but if you can travel to or find some kind of nature, forest, or anything really of nature, and just walk through that land and try to kind of be open to it. A lot of people, the first thing that happens isn't really the actual telepathy, it's the feeling that they get, like either this particular energy over here coming from, say, this boulder feels inviting, and this energy over here from this tree feels defensive, you know what I'm saying? But like a long time ago, we could actually talk, communicate, to a certain extent. If you don't have the gift to actually have that telepathy level, then you might not ever be able to communicate through actual thought and words, but you should at least be able to communicate through some sort of feeling, some sort of just general sixth sense. So we have, if he will settle down, we have a little somebody that I've brought with me, but it's kind of bad timing because he just shed recently, and he does not like shedding. He's extremely, even for a snake, he's extremely sensitive to shedding. So he's still kind of in mode of, I don't like it, I don't like the way it feels. The shed is off now, so it's all right to handle them when the shed's off, but he just does not like any part of it before, during, after. So we'll see if he wants to kind of settle down a bit. Right now he's still a little tensed up because I don't usually take him out right after. He probably shed yesterday, so usually I give him a few days. But I sense that he might actually be alright with this, so I was going to feed him today anyway, so he was going to be taken out anyway to get his food. So let's see here, we can get him up, and there we go. So his name's Ember, at least that's what I named him, and typically even naming has to go along with this voices of nature, because you want to make sure that the name that you give something is a name that they accept. Sometimes they have a name from a past life, and they will they'll want that name instead of a new name, and sometimes they'll just, you have to learn how to kind of sense that energy. He's still a little tensed up from, again, shedding. Usually he's very laid back, but I think he's good enough to be able to show you. So basically, he's one of the only pets that I own currently that is slow enough and doesn't want to just run away from the camera and get distracted. My other ones are too quick and too distracted, and we can't seem to get them sitting still long enough for something like this. So just the overall energy, if you can pick up on that vibrational energy, that's actually something that if I can physically show you something and you can pick up on that energy and kind of how that feels, then you're halfway there already. So if you can just sense his energy right now, eventually he's gonna kind of calm down. After he's been out a while, he's gonna get a little less tense, probably. Usually that's what he does. So I'm not gonna say anything, and we'll see if you can sense the difference between him as he was when I first showed you and when he's completely relaxed. So I'm just going to kind of wait for that to happen a little bit. He does want to explore, he wants to go somewhere. So he is kind of on the move, but if you ever handled snakes before, you have a bit of an advantage, because the body language is going to give some of it away. It's a waiting game, unfortunately. But again, if I can give some kind of hands-on example and ask you to look for something specific, then if you get it right, then at least you know you're on the right track. At least you know you've opened that door at least a little bit. It's not going to be on off. For him, it's a slow progress. So it's not going to be, tense and then all of a sudden not tense. It's going to kind of fade away. And you should be sensing something different. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but you should be sensing something different. he just asked, "Where's the where's the rat?" That's what he asked me. I think he knows he's going to be fed today. So okay, now we're at the point where he's gotten over this initial tense from that shedding mode. That he kind of keeps that tenseness for at least a day after shedding, unless you know, you get him out and handle him, and then that kind of breaks his train of thought. He's a little obsessive over that. He really does not. I mean, lots of snakes don't like shedding, but he really doesn't like it. So again, it's about a day after he might have shed last night, or he might have shed yesterday. I'm not sure, but now he's completely relaxed, and all he really cares about is looking for stuff, wanting to go places. He's either looking for a place to, you know, crawl into and get under, but I think he preferably would want something to eat. So that's probably his first choice. However, what we have done with him is, even though he's asking, what we've done with him is, you know, I scared him, poor thing, I scared him right there. He gets flinchy when you move too fast. He's still quite young, actually. He's still about, what is it? He's still, let's see, maybe a year old in a few days, I think. So he's only a baby, really. He's a bull python, which is captive. He's captive bred. Long line of captive bred, so wasn't taken from the wild or anything. So anyway, now I'm kind of just gonna talk to him and see what I can get out of him. If you can hear the voices of nature, you'll be able to hear what he says too. But again, most people don't get to that level unless they've got just a natural gift for it. So he's actually pretty quiet. He doesn't talk too much. So I'm trying to get him to say something, and if you can hear the same thing I hear, then you've got it. No, wait until he says something. So what are we doing? He wants to know why I'm holding him like this. He wants to go down. Well, I just scared you, didn't I? I'm sorry. Just my hand. He has an instinctual reaction. It's like a reflex. It's almost like he can't help it. Flinching reflex when something moves fast in front of him. I'll put you down then, okay? He wanted down, so I put him down. Now he's crawling on my lap. That's where he wants to be for now. And I promised him that he was going to get his food later, so not right now, but later. And he's content enough just being able to go where he wants to go right now. So he's finding a little corner in the beside me in the chair, and he's going there. So anyway, so basically it's really short. It's not going to be good enough probably for a really good test to see how much you can hear. So you're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to practice over and over and over again, and it's all about not assuming what they say is what they say. If you assume, then it ends up being your thoughts instead of theirs. So please be mindful of that. You want to test it any way you possibly can think of to test it. You want to test to see if you've got it right.